Okay, it's stitching time. I've already got my needle, one needle locked on. So let's go ahead and do the other needle. It's pretty simple. I usually start out with flattening the thread against the needle, putting it through the eye. Some people like to use needles with great huge eyes in them. I just found those to bind a little bit more than necessary and break easy. It's a weakness. About an inch or so, I'll make a flat spot with my thumbnail, and then I'll put the needle right in the middle of that. Pierce the thread with the needle, pull it on down, and pop it over the eye. And that's locked on. Okay, I'm going to start here at this corner, go around this way, and then back. Oh no, wait a minute. No, I want to go the other way. I want to go this way and then come back. Yeah, because that'll be strongest. There's more stress at this point than at this point. And I'm going to do my start and stopping at the places with the least amount of stress. I figured the mouth of the holster is going to have the most stress. That's the way I did this one here, and it's been holding on for years. Go ahead and even them out, and then start our stitching. Now I'm using black thread on this one because, well, the feller asked for black thread. So that's what I'm using. Okay, make sure these are even. Yep. Now, what I'm doing is this one's going in, and I'm going to waller it around a little bit, just stretch it out a little. Put this needle on top, just because that's the way I do it. And then the second stitch is going over top of the first stitch. I give this a little tug to make sure I didn't pierce the thread. And then go ahead and pull them both on through. Snug it, and then go on to the next one. Now sometimes in the background I'll have music or something while I'm doing this. It's not a race. Take your time, take it easy, relax. Maybe you'll let your mind wander. If you do this enough, basically your body just knows what to do. You get into your muscle memory. So you can just sit back, relax, listen to music. Yeah. And just get stitching done. You don't need to strangle it when you pull it tight. I've seen examples of people that have actually pulled the thread through the leather. They've pulled it so tight, like, grrr! Don't need to do that, just snug. Move on to the next one. I make it a point to never put the needles down. The needles are always either in my hand, like this one always has a needle in it. No, maybe not. But anyway, either the needles are going to be in my hand or in the leather. I never let them drop. Well, I'm going to continue this for a little while, and I'll be back when we turn this corner. Okay, like I said, we're back. Anyway, I said I'd come back when I'm going around the corner here. Basically, you just keep going like you're going. But when you start coming back, when I start coming back toward me, the second thread is going to go under the first thread. And even though the threads really aren't that visible on this particular hunk of leather, I still like to keep everything going in a way that remains aesthetic. And I never, ever, ever, ever drill my holes. No matter how much leather I got to go through, people might say, oh, well, you know, if you're going through a bunch of leather, it's a lot easier to drill the holes. Oh, yeah, sure, it's easy enough to punch through a couple of hunks of 9-ounce, but what if you got like a welt or something? And you got to drill through because your punch isn't long enough. Well, if you're doing something like that, then you punch as far as your punch goes and finish the hole with an awl. That's what I had to do on this edge. It's too thick for the punch, so I had to come in with an awl and finish punching the holes on through before I stitched it. Uh-oh, I've got a scuff mark. I'm gonna have to fix that. Anyway, that's my Purdy holster. You might say that's my barbecue holster. Like that one there is made to go with this belt. Actually, I have a little ammo holder too. That's all dusty. Been a long winter, but that slides on there, and that goes on there. Put a nice shiny gun in there. Oopsie, some cartridges in there, and off we go to the barbecue. So anyway. Let me get back to the stitching. We'll get along a little further and we'll come back when I get toward the end. Well, we're nearing the end here. And just keep doing what I've been doing. And once I get to the end, I'm going to do my back stitch and then beat the living daylights out of it with a hammer. Well, maybe not the living daylights out of it. Just give it a good smack. You ever have a song going through your head? Just can't get rid of it. That song by Stylistics, You Make Me Feel Brand New, won't leave my brain alone. Okay, we're at the end. Now it's time to do our back stitching. And I'm going to grab my little hammer in preparation. And my smooth jaw pliers. Oh, by the way, today is actually a nice, bright, sunny day. Blue skies out there. Still kind of cold, but at least it's not dreary and bleary. Alright, now, first thing we got to do is see which way the thread wants to go, and then back stitch that away. Let's see now. Okay, that one goes up, and this one goes underneath. That's why I take it out of the clamp, because, well, it's a bit more difficult to push a needle through a hole filled with thread than just a hole in a hunk of leather. But, you know, go back 3 or 4 times. That's where these come in. And in order to keep from risking damage to my needles, I pull it straight. Now this is just how I do it. There's a lot of people out there that do it a bit differently than me. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, it's just different. This is just the way that works with me. Oops. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. That goes through there. And come on through. It goes through there. All right. And come on through. And I want to make sure that I end it on the back, because I want the front to stay priority. Okay, one more time toward the back. Cut it off. And I'm going to leave about that much. That gets burned down with my lighter. Now, I did a video on this lighter, actually on 2 of these. And I usually just use a cheap little disposable lighter to do this. That lives in my sewing box. But I thought I'd go ahead and use my new double torch, my Zippo with the double torch insert. Let's see how that works. Oh, that works good. And the last step is the little hammer. The idea isn't to squash it or anything. I'm just mashing it down a little bit, and that helps the thread, rather the leather, to grip the thread. The holes close up a little bit, and presses it down into that groove. So now you got the stitches down in the stitch groove, so that won't be rubbing on your belt. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side, and then it'll be time to mold this thing. We'll come back and check that out. See you then.